What's the word, YouTube? You know who it is. It's your boy Big Will. Back again. Life after prison. To get up to date on some news. A lot of fentanyl, heroin being found in Massachusetts. We'll start out with a little story here. Newbedford fentanyl tracker sentenced to 4 years in prison. A 42-year fentanyl dealer from Newbedford will be spending 4 years in state prison after he was sentenced last week in Fall River Superior Court. Brian Still received the prison term after pleading guilty on October 7th to trafficking more than 18 grams of fentanyl. He got 4 years. I had 2 grams. My initial offer was 3 to 20. So I took it to trial, and then they dropped the habitual offender, because one of my old cases, the delivery charge got dropped. The possession charge stayed, but delivery charge got dropped. Because I was only arrested with stuff, they didn't catch me delivering. That part got dropped. So the subsequent offense, the habitual offender part, got dropped out from the 3 to 20. So I only got 2.5 to do. But anyways, Brian still received a prison term after pleading guilty on October 7th. It's trafficking more than 18 grams of fentanyl, according to Bristol County District Attorney's Office. Still was caught in May 2020 after Newbedford police began surveillance at his 314 Coffee Avenue apartment. According to the DA's office, at around 1:30 p.m. on May 13th, 2020, Detective Nathan Pimentel saw Still leave the home with his girlfriend. Police stopped Still in his red Chevy Tahoe on Quonset Ave and Dean Streets and seized his keys, using them to get inside his apartment, the officer said. In the search of his apartment, police found a bag of fentanyl weighing around 25 grams in Still's bedroom. They also found and seized around 5 grams of fentanyl elsewhere in the apartment, along with plastic baggies, digital scales, and $1,351 cash, thought to be proceeds from drug sales. A state lab later confirmed the substance found in the apartment to be fentanyl. The DA's office said Still has a long criminal history dating back to 1994, nearly 30 years ago. That's what happens when we're in this life. We go back and forth with crimes, you know. Prior convictions include drug distribution offenses, as well as 2007 conviction for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, which earned him a 2 to 3 year prison sentence. This defender has a history of convictions that include selling drugs and assaults, Bristol District Attorney Thomas Quinn said. He clearly is a danger to the community and needs to be kept off the streets to protect the public. So the kid's been arrested on several things, drugs and charges, so he gets 4 years. Other news today in Massachusetts: one arrested, over 27,000 bags of drugs seized in Springfield, Massachusetts. One person is under arrest after a lengthy investigation resulted in the discovery of thousands of bags of drugs. Mass State Police spokesperson David Procchio said that a multi-agency investigation into drug trafficking in Hampden County, Springfield, Mass. led to a search warrant being issued for a resident on Miller Street in Springfield. On Wednesday, that warrant was executed, and during the search, which conducted by local and state law enforcement, approximately 27,480 individual bags of suspected heroin or fentanyl was seized, as well as approximately 122 grams of fentanyl pills. For all you that don't know, fentanyl usually comes in pills. Then they get it, they crush it up, and they mix it with everything. Cocaine, heroin, you name it, they're mixing it with it. But it usually comes in a pill. That's how they're selling it. That's how they get it. Comes in pills. They crush them and mix them up. But 122 grams of suspected fentanyl pills and approximately 45 grams of suspected cocaine. In addition to the drugs, 2 guns, ammunition, and an amount of money that is still being counted were also seized. The money is still being counted. There's a little story. Back in 2007, I was raided. 2006, I was raided. And I used to save all my $1 bills, $5 bills, and a big change jar, a big one of them big water jugs, the blue water jugs. I saved them for my kids, right? I never spent my ones and fives. When I was raided, the cops took the $15,000 from my drawer, which I just got out of bank a day ago. I was going to buy a truck. They took the $2,000 from my pocket, and they took the water jug with the money in it. Now, my kid's mother at the time said to the officers, "Ain't you going to count that for evidence?" And they told her, "Don't worry about it. We'll count it when we get to the police department." Well, a little tidbit. Them ones and fives never showed up in my evidence package. The only thing that they found was the $15,000, and it was $1,700 actually that they took out of my pocket. A little less than $2,000, but that's the only thing that showed up on my evidence package. Now, the $15,000 was legal money that I had. I had a settlement for $113,000, and I took the $15,000 out to buy a truck. And because it was in my house with where drugs were being kept, the cops seized it, and I wasn't able to get it back. So this here, and in addition to 2 guns, ammunition, and an amount of money that is still being counted. Now, they counted 27,480 bags of heroin. They counted all of that, all of them bags, right? Made sure that they were full, all that bullshit. Testing them, 122 grams of suspected fentanyl pills. They weighed that and counted it. 45 grams of suspected coke. They weighed it and counted it. But an amount of money that's still being counted, that's because they want to get their story straight with the detectives on scene who took their little cut. Then when they put the money in, when upstairs brass took their cut, they want to make sure they get their story together, how much was there, so when they put it into evidence and the guy contradicts, "Oh, I didn't have 15,000, I had 20,000. They want to know their story straight. It's not that hard to count money. You put it in a money machine and you count it. Or you have a guy sit there for 2-3 hours and he counts the money. That's what you do for evidence. It's not that hard to count money, trust me. The guy ain't counting millions and millions of dollars here. Come on. If it was that much money, they would be happy to say it, because that's a huge bust, right? Come on. It's just, it's crazy. The money is still being counted. One of the guns reported stolen out of Agawam, Mass. in 2018 was recovered. Pokreel added that Israel Silva Guzman, the alleged target of the investigation, and a resident of the Miller Street residence, was arrested and booked at the Springfield Police Department. He was booked on drug charges and subsequent offense of firearm charges. So he's going to get some football numbers, this guy. It's sad to say, but it just goes to show how dirty these cops are. You know, they do an investigation and they don't know how much money's there. It's just crooked. It's just bullshit. It's just dirty. You know, dirty how much. The second time I got raided, I've been raided like 4 times, but another time I was raided in 2015. Cops came into me. I had hit a scratch ticket. I had sent my mother to the local lottery office to collect it for me. When she came back with the money, the cops thought I was making a buy. They jumped on me. They grabbed me. It was just my mother handing me the envelope from the lottery, okay? But what happened was, because I had this money, I had drugs in my pocket. So when they found the drugs in my pocket, the money was there from the lottery. They took it. They seized it. So when I came into my house, I had some more money in my house. I had some money put away for my son's birthday party. I had a couple of thousand just sitting in my drawer. But if there's no drugs or nothing found inside the house or nothing, they can't touch that money. So the only drugs I had on me were the drugs that were in my pocket. I was getting ready to go and re-up. I was getting ready to go cop. But I was just waiting until my mother came back from the lottery, my money, blah, blah, blah. When they came into my house, they asked me, where's the keys to your truck? You got a warrant for it. I said, they're in my vest. When the guy reached into my vest, he said, whoa, look what we found here. Fucking asshole. He said, whoa, look what we found here. More drugs. Now, I contested that. I was like, that's the drugs that you found in my pocket. The detective was, no, them drugs are already in the car as evidence. They're already booked in my car as evidence. They're locked up. It was a bullshit story. They were never locked up. They were never in the car as evidence. He just couldn't take the money and shit from my house if there was no drugs. Another side bit to show you how dirty they are. Because the amount of drugs was so minimal that they found, because like I tell you, I was just out. I was out. I only had personal use at this time. My wife had legal prescription medications that were not in the bottle. They were just on the desk waiting to be taken that day or something or whatever. I don't remember why they were out of the bottle, but they charged me with possession of her prescription pills because they weren't in the bottom. Just to add charges onto me. Just goes to show you how dirty these cops are. You know, especially detectives. They are dirty, dirty detectives. But they don't know how much money this guy had. Go figure, right? Springfield, Mass. has had a slew of people being arrested for fentanyl. You know, it's running rampant out there. Just in July, they had a Springfield man that was arrested on 800 grams of fentanyl. A Springfield man has been arrested and indicted for drug trafficking after more than 800 grams of fentanyl were found in his residence during a joint investigation between Springfield Police Department and the FBI. The Western District of Missouri Department of Justice announced Tuesday. According to court documents, Anthony Lewis, 40, of Springfield, on June 23rd, Lewis's house, which is located in the 3300 block of South Doris Court, had been under investigation and under surveillance for suspicions that he was involved in trafficking drugs. Upon searching the residence, although Lewis was not there, they found a duffel bag with 2 large containers inside full of an off-white, chunky substance that is consistent with heroin and fentanyl. The substance was field tested and indicated that it contained fentanyl, according to court documents. The substance was also later weighed and came to roughly 825 grams. Inside the house, investigators also found Lewis's Missouri ID and his registration for a Tesla, which they found in the garage of the house. According to court documents, while searching his home, other officers were watching Lewis and observed him making what appeared to be a drug deal near Sunshine Street and Ingram Hill Road. Those officers conducted a traffic stop on Lewis and arrested him. He was taken to the Greene County Jail, where during a body scan of Lewis, they found out that there was a mass inside the body cavity, according to court documents. Upon further investigation and during the strip search, 17 tiny bags containing an off-white chunky substance were found and removed from Lewis's rectum. The bags weighed 13.1 grams, but were not field tested for fentanyl, according to court documents. They didn't want to test it. They had all shit on it. Lewis is currently in Greene County Jail and charged with 1 count of possession with intent to distribute 400 grams or more of a substance containing fentanyl. He could face a life sentence if convicted. He does not have an attorney listed as representing him. So this guy got arrested over 400 grams, they want to give you life for fentanyl, you know. So, I mean, they're both going to get 20, 25 years for these charges, you know what I mean? They're not playing with this fentanyl shit. People are dying left and right, and like I said, they're putting it in everything. You know, if you're a fentanyl dealer out there, be careful. They're going to get you. They will. And if they do grab you and you have nothing on you, I'm going to give you a quote a detective told my girl when they tried to arrest me one time. They tried to arrest me. This is after I got on parole. I was all done with my parole. I was working. Cops arrested me, and they said to my girl, "Oh, we think, you know, we have suspicion that Will's selling drugs again." And my girl was like, "No fucking way, he's working." And the cop looked at her and said, "Jen, listen," because she knew one of the detectives from the church that she goes to and shit. But the cop told her, "Jen, listen, if there is a cop or a detective that wants Will off the streets, even if they come here and there's nothing here, they will find something. Trust me, they will find something." Meaning he's telling her straight out, I'm going to tell you straight out, they will plant shit on him. They will plant shit and make it seem like he had stuff. Just like they did in 2015 when they raided me and I had nothing in my house. But they found something. They found the same shit that was in my pocket and said it was in the house just so they could take the money. That's how dirty these cops are. So these two guys are gonna go. You know, if you're one of them kids out there and you think drug dealing is the way out, yeah, you get some fast money and you buy a nice car. I had 5 of them. I was cool, right? I had all the gold. All the gold I have now is legally purchased. But I had gold on my neck, and I was out buying scratch tickets by the thousands, you know, just spending money going. It was all good. All the money I had stacked, just like the song says on Biggie Smalls' music. All the money you stacked is all the money for bail. That's all it goes for. It goes for bail. It goes for canteen. And the thousands that you have saved, they go for your lawyer. You come out, you have nothing. You end up with nothing. You have nothing. It's only good for a short time. Take it from me. It's best that you do it legally and enjoy your money. You don't have to watch over your back. And this Israel, the reason why they were doing their investigation, and I believe they raided him, was because the day earlier, in the same county as him, right near his house, Springfield, Mass, members of the Drug Enforcement Administration and DEA, Massachusetts, of the SINRET units, they discovered a large amount of fentanyl inside an abandoned car Tuesday. State Police spokesperson David Procchio, while conducting a joint investigation in the city, they were doing a joint investigation in the city, okay, of Springfield. An abandoned vehicle was found on Andrew Street. Members of the DEA and state police did an inventory, checked the vehicle, and found 30,000 dosage units of fentanyl inside. 30,000 bags of fentanyl inside the car. Police are still investigating this incident, and no other information has been made available. So it's just funny how Tuesday morning they find in an abandoned car doing an investigation 30,000 bags of fentanyl, and then the next day they raid this guy's house and find 27,800 bags of fentanyl. I mean, they're probably going to end up charging the guy with it once they get there, do their investigation. They're saying it was a joint investigation, same town, same area, couple streets over. They found it in an abandoned car. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, you know. But we'll see how that leads out. But let me know what you all think about all this fentanyl on these guys. It's not good, right? Get away from it. All it does is kill people and put them in prison. But it's your boy Big Will, life after prison. We're out here. I'm going to include some pictures in the articles in this video so you can read it yourself. And we'll take it from there. But with that being said, hey, don't forget, like and subscribe to these videos. It's your boy Big Will. The rain's starting to hit heavy out here. I'm going in to go watch some TV. Peace.